Another week and another stormy development. The attorney for Stormy Daniels says their case against President Trump is even stronger now that he's broken his silence and gone on the record about the hush money she was paid. First, a reminder of what the president said this week.
President, did you know about the $130,000 payment to Stormy Daniels?
No.
Why did Michael Cohen make it if there was no truth to your allegation?
Well, you have to ask Michael Cohen. Michael's an attorney, and you'll have to ask Michael Cohen.
Do you know where he got the money to make that payment?
I don't know. No.
You probably know the rest of the story by now. Trump's attorney, Michael Cohen, paid Daniels that money to keep quiet about an alleged affair with Trump. And now she wants her non-disclosure agreement tossed out because the president never signed it. Daniels' lawyer says the president's remarks should help her in court.
It's like Christmas and Hanukkah all rolled into one. You can't have an agreement if one party claims they knew nothing about one of the principal terms of the agreement. So the president has just shot himself in the foot. He should have left it alone. And now he's put himself and he's put Mr. Cohen in a world of hurt.
Joining us now, CNN legal analyst and defense attorney Mark Garagos. His clients have included everyone from Michael Jackson to Winona Ryder. So, Mark, you've got experience working with celebrities and going against other celebrities. What do you make of this new development? We didn't hear much from Trump. Why is it significant from a legal standpoint what he did say?
It's very significant. Michael is not prone to exaggeration when he says it's Christmas and Hanukkah all rolled up in one.
So he has reason to be
He has reason to be,
sorts.
exactly. If you're representing a client and the issue that you want to bring to the forefront is that this is not a valid agreement, Trump saying he knew nothing about the $130,000 payment gives you the ability now to go in and do discovery on it, which means a deposition, things of that nature, testimony, and presumably a jury trial as opposed to going straight to arbitration. So he must have, and the other thing is, when Trump invites the press to go ask Michael Cohen or see what he has to say, and he repeated it twice, arguably that's a waiver of the attorney-client privilege. So it's a 1-2 punch that I don't think Michael Cohen is happy about.
Interesting. You mentioned depositions, and we saw maneuverings in the court this week. Initially, a judge had thrown out the request for a deposition by Stormy Daniels' attorney. He says he's refiling that request, especially now that Cohen has come and filed the arbitration documents. Right. He tweeted this in part. As history teaches us, it's one thing to deceive the press and quite another to do so under oath. Hashtag search for the truth. Hashtag basta. Do you think he'll be successful in getting Trump to be deposed?
Look, right now, do I think he's going to be able to get an order? Yes. Do I understand what the end game is for either side on this? No. It's above my pay grade. If I'm representing Michael Cohen or anybody else, at this point, I would probably just dismiss. I mean, ultimately, at the end of the day, do you really want money out of somebody who probably doesn't have the deep pocket, meaning Stormy Daniels, and you're going to send the U.S. Marshal around if you do get a judgment to collect from every strip club in America? I doubt it. So there really is no end game for money, and the only thing you do is expose the president to being under oath and basically committing perjury. And why would you want to do that? For a lot of the same reasons you wouldn't want him getting in front of Robert Mueller, you wouldn't want him under oath with Michael asking him questions. So I don't think it makes any sense whatsoever. If I were them, I would just dismiss and move on.
What's the worst case for Michael Cohen? Based on what the president said, I mean, is it, I guess, against his legal responsibility to do something without letting the president or his client know about it?
It's really an interesting situation. I know that everybody says he's got an ethics problem. He's only got an ethics problem if the client complains about it, because he can always find refuge. If the New York State Bar says, we've got a complaint, they may have a complaint already. Anybody could file the complaint and say, you did this and he didn't have knowledge, and here's Exhibit A, him on the president on the plane saying, I didn't know about it. Unless the president says, I want to file a complaint against Michael Cohen, the New York State Bar has got very little basis upon which to discipline him. But Robert Mueller can question him about it. Robert Mueller can come in, and if he wants to squeeze Michael Cohen, he can say, you've got a federal elections problem here. You're way over the $2,700 contribution limit. You've paid $130,000. You said under oath you didn't get reimbursed. That's a real problem. You better play ball with us. You better tell us what you were doing in Moscow, what you were doing with the Moscow deal, and then they can go down that road, and others that I'm sure we have no idea about.
So I'm hearing you say he maybe made himself vulnerable to the special counsel probe. I also wonder about other legal cases like Karen McDougal's case, another woman who claims she had an affair with Trump years ago, trying to get out of her agreement to stay silent afterwards. Her lawyer tweeted this: now that real Donald Trump has cleared up everything for Michael Avenatti regarding Stormy Daniels, will he be making a statement about our client, Karen McDougal, or should we ask Michael Cohen? Does Trump weighing in on Daniels expose him to Karen McDougal's legal action?
I could see an argument if they filed one or if they got into it where you could use the Stormy admission, if you will, that he didn't know anything in terms of as like-minded evidence, evidentiary evidence in McDougal. I just don't think that's going to happen. I think that that's a long shot. I think the greater peril is if Trump and Cohen continue to press this issue in front of Judge Otero in the Central District in Los Angeles. I don't think there's any good outcome for them, and I don't understand. I mean, so what? You get a judgment. On your best day, you get a judgment for millions of dollars for her violating the agreement. What good is that going to do you?
Especially for a billionaire, right?
Exactly right.
Thank you, Mark Ericos. Always good to have your take.
Good to see you.
Coming up.